Hey everybody, welcome to the hangar deck. Just wanted to give you a little update on the fine molds A6M5 Model 52 Zero. Yesterday I got the cockpit installed into the center fuselage, and I think we talked yesterday about how this is all one piece and it's not two halves that you have to fold together, and that was really nice. That worked out really great. But every time I go to another step on this model, I think, okay, this is where I'm going to meet the Achilles heel of this kit. And I thought it was going to be this part right here. When I went to slide the center fuselage, I'm sorry, the cockpit into the center fuselage, it met some resistance, and I thought, aha, I'm going to wind up taking this out, and I'm going to have to sand it down, and have to open it up, and probably destroy some of the detail to get it to fit. After it met that initial resistance, it popped right on into place, and it fits like a glove. It is incredible how well this fits. There is absolutely no glue on this at all, and it sets just as tight as it can be inside this fuselage, this center fuselage. So I am really excited about that. You can kind of see the instrument panel now where you couldn't see it before. There's inside the cockpit. Now, I'm not doing a lot of weathering on this. This is kind of early production for the A6M5 in my mind, so it's going to be pretty much the way it flew off the deck the first time. But there'll be some, there'll be some weathering. Then we moved on to the wing, and there's a lot going on inside this wing. If you're familiar at all with aircraft, you know that in the center of the wing, and it runs from this way out and then this way out, there is what is called the main spar. And that's the main framework to which the rest of the framework is built and attached for the wing. This kit includes that main spar, but it also includes all the framework that encloses the wheel wells, and all that has to be set in place and glued. And then I did all that. I put the wing together, and then I realized I'd forgotten the top of the wheel well, so I had to split it all apart. Fortunately, my glue was not set yet, so it was pretty easy to do. Once I got that in there, then I started closing up this wing again, and this is where I've run into my first minor hiccup with this kit. If you look really close, you can see a little bit of gap right at the lead edge in some places, and I've squeezed that together, and I've used some super glue, and I've got it about as tight as I can. So now I'm going to have to use some putty, and then once I get the putty in there, then I will sand it off, and it'll still turn out really great. It'll still look great. And then if you look right here, I don't know whether you can see it or not, right in this area, there's about a millimeter and a half of overrun on this top section where it went out past the bottom section. That's really common with a lot of models, even Tamiya's. Same thing on this one. And at first I thought I just had the wing shifted too far one way or the other, but that actually isn't the case. It's just a little bit bigger. So a little bit of sanding, and that'll take care of that. It's not a big deal. It'll look great. It'll still look great. For the most part, this entire kit has been a dream to build. It's going to take very little post-assembly treatment to clean it up, very little, and I am really happy with this kit so far. So once I get done totally with this wing, I've got these access doors I need to put on and these lead edge doors. Once I get totally done, I'm going to fill up these wheel wells. I may even, I don't know, I don't think I can put the covers on, but anyway, I will fill those up. I will prime the wing, and then I'm going to paint this lead edge here and here, and then here and here yellow. You probably can't see this picture up here beside me, but the lead edge of most Japanese aircraft were painted yellow. So what I'll do is I'll paint that lead edge, and I'll just kind of spray it on there willy-nilly. I'll make sure I have a really good solid lead edge coat, and then I'll fade it back as I go back. And then once I get done and that gets dry, then I will tape over what I want to keep. And then once I get that taped over, then I'll reprime over the yellow, and then I will apply my pre-shading and all of that, and then put the final coats on the wing. I will probably do the entire wing before I mate it to the fuselage. It just makes it so much easier. And then if I have to have any putty or anything where the wing mates to the fuselage, I can do that and then touch up the paint. If you have a stripe that you need to do on a vehicle or on an aircraft or what have you, the way I do it, and I found that it's really makes it much easier and it makes it for a much nicer finish. You paint the general area where the stripe goes, and then you lay tape down where you want to preserve the stripe. You set that tape down, you make sure it's good and tight, and then you reshoot the area where the overspray is. Then when you get all done with your model, then you peel that tape off, and then you apply your gloss coat or what have you for your decals, depending on what you're doing. I think you'll find that you will get a whole lot better stripe. If you followed me, I've done a lot of striping on models, and that's how I normally do it. I lay down the base color, I go over it with tape to preserve where I want that stripe, and then I shoot everything else. So let's say you're doing a white vehicle and you want a red stripe. You might think, okay, well, I'm going to have to put a lot of white paint on that to cover up that red stripe. Not necessarily. Once you get that stripe preserved with the tape, you can go over it with primer and then go over it with your white tape or your white paint. And I think you'll find that you have really good success. Everybody's got a paint mule in their stash, a model that they paint and repaint. Try it. Try it a couple times. Try a couple of different stripes, different ways of striping, and see what you think. So anyway, that is it for the update on the Fine Molds Zero. Really great kit. If you can get a hold of it, it's kind of hard to get a hold of right now, but if you can get a hold of it, I think you'd be very happy. All right. Take care.